protesting terrorism, and there was a worldwide rally, and a lot of people did turn up, but not all the people who should have been there, perhaps. Welcome back to the arena. I'm Michael Corrin. Now, Canada is now involved in Iraq, but ISIS is still holding on to many, if not most, of its gains. How are the people on the ground, ordinary people, functioning, especially the Kurds? Dilan Badgi is a Kurdish activist, and she recently came on the show and told us the Kurdish story, which I think not that many people knew about, yes, which is no criticism of them. Have things changed in the past week or so for the Kurdish people in that region?
Absolutely. I mean, because of the coalition's airstrikes, it have eased the pressure on the Kobane's civilians to fight against ISIS. And just recently, 2 days ago, Canada, they did their first airstrikes in Iraq. And that helped a lot in that region because they bombed Euphrates. There were some sort of engine construction that ISIS was building, and they bombed that to prevent water from the locals. So it was a great success. Yeah,
bulldozers, ISIS bulldozers were destroyed. And I heard people say, well, what's the point of that? What about bombing their tanks and artillery? No, I mean, part of the military campaign, they're trying to persecute the people who live there, trying to starve them and besiege them. And this is a direct, deliberate attack on that ability.
I mean, it's any war, it's not easy. You know, any war, it's very risky for the locals. But ISIS is a big worldwide, and it's growing very fast, a threat. I mean, look at Canada's Ottawa shooting. It's everywhere now. So
they were mentally ill. That was nothing to do with Islam, apparently.
So, yeah, but I mean, it's still just anywhere. It's just you never know when it comes. So it's a huge, it's a worldwide terror that it's raising.
I'm glad you said this, because there is a view that with only 5 or 6 planes out there, that Canada, it's a token presence. We're not really achieving anything. But I assume, are you in contact with the Kurdish people in the region?
Yes.
I mean, they must realize now they're not alone.
Absolutely. I mean, UN supports Canada airstrikes against ISIS due to Canada's Responsibility to Protect Act. This is where, you know, when civilians cannot be protected by the government, then the countries interfere. It's a great, you know, it gives them a great moral and support to know that world is being united with them. Just this past Saturday, on November 1st, it was declared as the Global Kobane Day. 40 countries and 216 cities were demonstrating for the solidarity with people of Kobane, and millions of people around the world were demonstrating for them. And it was quite surprising because it was not organized by a Kurdish organization; it was organized by other people. So in this case, we have common enemy. I mean, this world has a common enemy, and it's ISIS. So we have to come together and fight together.
But what happens if, God willing, we destroy ISIS? You know better than I do, that's not the end of the problem. The Kurdish people are still, well, relatively speaking, stateless. They're divided between Iran and Iraq and Syria and Turkey.
Yes.
So if we beat ISIS, okay, they're done with. You still don't have a real country that is recognized by the entire world to call your own.
Well, you know, when they divided the country was in 1960 in the Psycho-Speaker Agreement, and we're coming close to 2016. That's now 100 years. So from what I see is that in the next minimum, 10 years, Middle East map would be redesigned.
Yes.
And I'm very hopeful that we will get to see a map of Kurdistan as well.
Would you accept part of the country? I mean, I don't think Turkey is going to give up its region, for example. I think you obviously have Kurdistan is already there, part of Iraq, and maybe part of Syria.
Yes.
But Iran and Turkey, and that's
they're a little bit more complex and complicated. Even if they weren't to give up, on their land, then they have to, as a government, build up a system. Yeah. Canada is a great example. We have 2 languages. Official languages, and we have the federal system. They can build a democratic system within their government to be able to give what the people of Kurdish people needs, their basic human rights, and to be recognized.
Right.
And for the Kurds, it's not a matter of borders, really. It doesn't even have to be the Kurdistan map or the borders. It's about living in peace and being to know that they're in coexistence in that region.
Last question. The air campaign is taking place. The Kurdish people are fighting ISIS, but unless Western powers or certain powers put troops on the ground. Can you beat them on your own?
I mean, the will is much more stronger than...
The will is there, but
the will is there,
underarmed.
absolutely. So this is where the international powers really have the responsibility to act with the locals and of Kobane and with the Kurdish people, because without the troops on the ground, it's not going to be that successful. It's going to be very tough. So to be able to work together, it will bring much more results and much more efficient results and faster peace and democracy in that region. I mean, people of that region are thirsty for democracy, are thirsty for peace. Yeah. And Kurds in that region have been very tolerant towards any culture, any religion, any ethnicity. Yeah. So in that case, we do deserve, I mean, it's been for the past 100 years.
Alrighty. Well, I can tell you on this network and this show, we won't take our eyes off of that situation because it's been neglected for too long. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.